What do you have calloused hands then?
No, I worked out for like a week last week.
You brought his trophies back.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Guys,
Yeah, as long as people think that I work out.
progress.
That's all progress.
Very nice.
How are you today? And welcome to the stew. I know it's not your first time, but it's their first time
It was there for some.
seeing you. And,
Yeah, it's true. First time in front of the camera.
Yeah. How do you like it? How do you like it so far?
I don't
Take
know,
a look around.
man.
Pretty
Usually I'm behind the lights. Now
Yeah.
I'm just getting blinded right now.
Exactly. Well, welcome to the show,
Thank you for having
Mr.
me.
Ibrahim Abdelhafeez.
Thank you. Thank you.
Episode
for having me.
104, baby.
Yes, sir. So tell us a little about yourself. I know you're a dear friend of ours. We've known you forever. You've worked on multiple podcasts before.
Mhm.
You've done film work. You've done set work. You've met a lot of cool people too.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2019 has been a crazy year for me. A
Mhm.
Yeah.
really wild ride.
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
do remember that.
A little bit about myself though. I'm a student.
Okay.
Of
He's a
life.
very educated man.
Hey, look, listen, we're all students.
Yeah, we're all students of life.
So yeah.
Filmer, photographer. I sketch from time to time. What else about me?
So you're a big artist type of man, like
Yeah.
a general like creative.
Yeah, I kind of dabble into whatever my hands like to
Yeah.
get into,
Okay.
pretty much. But
Okay.
probably my longest thing that I've done was sketching. That's probably the
Mm.
thing I've been doing the most.
Yeah.
What do you
have some-
sketch? Just anything?
Mostly cartoons.
Yeah.
You know, I do remember him
Ju-
sending
yeah.
quite a few cartoons.
That's actually
They're fun shapes to do.
Dude,
yeah.
they're really
Yeah.
good sketches. man.
It's
Yeah.
really, really fun. I really got into it a lot when I was older. When my mom told me that they were once at a conference,
Yeah.
like my mom and dad and whatever, and I was like 4, I think, 3 or 4 years old,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't shut up. Basically, like I don't know, whining,
Yeah.
little kid. So she gave me like a paper and a pencil,
Mm.
and she's like, just stop, be
Just
quiet,
Start drawing.
literally. So I started doing my thing, and then like I don't know how long after. This is a story she told me. I'm not saying that I did this,
Mhm.
but she told me this. At the time, my sister was really into Powerpuff Girls.
Ooh.
At the time, yeah.
Powerpuff
And
Girls.
obviously, being her little brother, I would just whatever she watches, I watch too. And by the end of the conference, she looked at what I drew, and to her description, she said that I drew them perfectly from memory, like perfectly
Really?
Mm,
at like 3 or 4.
really?
So I was like, let me see if I can still do it. And somehow, I don't know, like I'm like in high school, I was like, let me see if I can still draw. I would look at a picture. I can't do things from memory though.
Mhm.
I'd look at a picture and I'll just start drawing it. It just like appears on the paper. And people ask me like, oh, how is that possible? And in my mind, I'm like, this doesn't seem impossible. It's like anyone can do this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The only problem is people won't be willing to sit 5-6 hours on a drawing. Like my back is killing me. Once I'm in a sketch, I don't get up.
Mm.
And I'll sit like average 4 hours. Time flies. Next thing I know, the sketch is just
You get
it
into a
just
zone
appears.
with it.
It just appears on the paper,
Mhm.
basically.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like that because it's so easy to find your flow if you're
Mhm.
like an artist. of some sort.
yeah. I just wish I got more into it. Like I actually took classes because I don't do things the right way.
Yeah.
Like I don't draw the skeleton first. I don't know if you've ever seen like skeletons before you draw, where they draw the shapes, like the general shape of a picture before they actually draw the sketch. They'll draw like a circle, the lines of where the eyes have to go, where the eyebrows go, where the neck goes, where the body shape. I don't do any of that.
Mm.
I just like let the pencil do it,
Yeah.
basically.
Is
But
there
I
a
wish
proper
I
way to hold it? Like
hold a pencil.
It's like
That's
till
a good
this day.
question.
That's a very
Yeah.
good question because I asked
Maybe.
myself that. And I'm
Maybe.
Like, I feel like I'm holding this wrong.
Maybe.
But it's due to like technology. Obviously, we type a lot now.
Maybe. I have no idea because I honestly wish there was an answer for that.
Yeah.
And there actually might be because when I draw, by the end of it, there's a
Yeah.
dent in my finger.
Should we ask Siri?
Mm.
So is there a proper way to hold your pencil?
I don't know.
I don't think she's gonna give a good answer.
Let's find out. She usually gives
Might as
shitty
well.
answers, but we'll find out today. How do you hold a pencil? In a lateral quadrupod grip.
Oh yeah, obviously. Duh.
Thank you
Well, how
so
you
much.
normally
How
hold
else
it.
would you hold
Okay,
it?
wait. How do you
Upside down.
correctly hold a pencil? What? With your thumb wrapped around on top of index finger.
Yeah. So basically, how we
It's not on top of it.
thumb.
Do you
finger,
actually write like that?
like this? Just
I don't
both
know.
fingers.
Dude, I haven't.
No, it's
wrote-
just, I don't know.
I
But
haven't
I
written
have no
something in
idea,
a while.
honestly.
I haven't written something down in a while.
I actually, oh my god, I was taking this class this summer, and I'm taking notes, and I'm like, gosh, my handwriting is terrible.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's like, you look at it, and you're like, a 5-year-old wrote this.
Yeah,
It's so bad.
yeah.
And I started actually like watching videos. I'm like, how do you improve your handwriting? And I slowly started to, like, there's actual like methods and techniques. Like you have to start like spacing your letters properly.
Mhm.
Like try to make them as even as possible.
Mm.
Writing letters the same way every single time. Like don't switch up your letters.
Yeah.
Figure out the way you want to write things. Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
It just has to keep going on. And then eventually you start having
Yeah.
better handwriting.
So I don't know if you've tried this. You've probably noticed a pattern, but like you know how like I have shitty handwriting, for example.
Mhm.
Write on wide ruled, college ruled, and then composition books,
Mhm.
and then just a blank piece of paper. The blank piece of paper will F you up every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you're gonna start imagining.
It also
lines.
matters. It also matters what you write with.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
typically write better with a pen,
Mhm.
with a gel pen,
yes,
than I do with like a
Yeah.
pencil
I suck.
Yeah.
with
or a
gel
ballpoint.
pens.
Even ballpoint pens, I don't write good with them.
dude. I actually like. You know how our dads have like one pen that's like
Yeah.
$800.
Yeah.
You're like so stupid.
Why
you know?
would
Like,
you
why would
even-
you ever do that? Yeah. I finally understand it.
Yeah.
100%.
You
I
have
went-
to have that right
Yeah.
pencil or right
Mhm.
pen.
I went to a pen store. It was actually a leather store in Turkey.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, let me see like some of your finest pens, but let's not push it to
Some of your
$1,800.
finest
you know?
pens. They have like a
Yeah.
briefcase. They just
Yeah.
roll it out.
Yeah. Let's just keep it under a K. you know?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay. Come here, sir. And he shows me like this room. It's like well lit. And he like, just like these displays are just awesome.
Yeah.
He rolls them out, you know.
It's like
and
a
he's
Rolex
like here,
of pens.
pulls out like a really nice textured paper. He's like, here you go. Here's a blank page for you, set up for you. And then he just says, all right, go ahead. You can start trying them. I'm like, all right. What's the first thing you think I did? I started
Wrote your name.
Saeed is cool. Or just my signature. I'm like, yeah, this pen is
Yeah.
gliding, dude.
I feel so royal.
It feels so good right now.
Yeah. All right.
And I ended up getting one. It was $150. You know, I'm not gonna spend near. That's still a lot of money, dude.
Yeah. For a pen. For one.
Yeah, one pen.
I get the 3-pack for
Yeah.
15, and that's already too much.
But it was gliding the same way the one that costed $1,800 was.
wow.
So I was just like, okay, like I feel a similarity, and it's an awesome
Mhm.
pen. Let's get it.
I feel like I mean, how good can a pen be?
Yeah.
You know, like even like with cameras, right?
Mhm.
I watched this video a long time ago. I'm like, how good can a camera get? Like, there's
Mhm.
cameras that are $200. There's cameras that are $50,000. I'm
Yeah.
like, what's the difference? And you realize that like a $200 camera versus a $500 camera, it's a big difference. There's extra features in the $500 camera, better quality. Maybe it's a detachable lens. You could put new lenses on it.
Yeah.
But then $500 versus $1,000, definitely better, but not as much better as the 200 versus the 500.
Exactly.
And then you start getting more and more
Yeah.
like 1,000, like my camera versus your camera. My camera is, well, right now it's probably valued at like $900.
Mhm.
But like when I first got it, it was valued around like 1,700 versus your
One of them,
your Mark
5D.
V
Yeah,
or
Mark
your
4.
Mark 4. You take they'll take the same pictures. It's just the Mark 4, you'll shoot 4K with it. You'll have maybe a little bit better quality. But as far as like you look at two pictures and you say which one was shot with which,
It's preference.
you won't be
So
able
is it
to-
everything
you won't be able
around
to.
the camera, all the perks you get with the camera instead of necessarily the quality?
Yeah, and for
Kind of
for the
in a
most
way.
part, people forget about the science of it. That's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
It's sensor based. Okay,
Mhm.
whether it has a swivel screen or not for your convenience.
Yeah.
that's exterior. That has nothing. That's a
Mhm.
$5 add-on.
Touch
for
screen
them,
versus not
technically.
touch screen.
Yeah,
XLR inputs.
Yeah.
Some cameras have XLR
Yeah.
inputs and like directly in them. Like your
yeah.
Blackmagic
Like my
has an I don't
Blackmagic
have
does.
one in mine.
Oh, that's what we shoot with. By the way, we shoot with the Blackmagic.
With the Blackmagic, yeah.
cinema camera.
Mhm.
Dude, it's so crazy to think about that before. When was before the 80s?
Mhm.
Mhm.
All we ever did was write down on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we ever did.
Mhm.
And now we've
Typewriters.
lost.
They still have typewriters.
Well, they had typewriters, yeah, but they're clunky. If you mess up once, you have to scrap the entire thing.
I actually have something about typewriters, but continue.
Okay, and so basically, we've just lost this. I mean, for the most part, I imagine people don't write often. They probably write rarely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
why do you think I have started to make sure that I write a journal entry every day? It's not for the journal entry per se.
Yeah.
It's more of like to have a start and end point to my day, but at the same time, it's to actually think about the process of I need to sit down and write this. And by write it, I don't mean go into your notes app and
Yeah.
start a new note. I'm
Mhm.
sick of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same. It doesn't hit the same. You won't memorize things the same.
Right.
There's something about
for
it.
sure. When you actually write
Yeah.
something down,
It's
that's why
way
when I
different.
was in class, when
Yeah.
I'm in class,
Mhm.
I'll actually watch the lecture and people are like, oh, why don't you just print out the slides? I'm like, no, I'm writing the slides down. Because some people like they'll print out the slides and they'll write side notes like, around the slides.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, like I actually write exactly what's on the slide.
Mhm.
And then
It's
some,
proven to help with memory. It's proven.
100%.
Yeah. And like detention. Has anyone here had detention in high school?
Of course.
Okay. What was one of the things you had to do? Write something over and over and over and over and
Mhm.
over again for like an hour and 15 minutes.
It
So it's
seems like
engraved in your
It's
mind.
engraved in your mind.
Yeah.
Now, if we were to type that as a thread on Twitter, right?
Yeah. Been copy
Would you
paste.
memorize it? No, half the
No.
time I can't even remember my own tweets. Like,
'Cause
I
the
feel
thing
like
is-
I tweeted something about this. I don't remember exactly how it went though. I have to go back.
At a
Imagine
certain
how I
point,
feel.
at a certain point, you start memorizing your keyboard, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, people memorize it on their computer, but people are starting to memorize it on their phones too. Like, I'll be able to type without even looking,
Mhm.
autocorrect, all that stuff.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, I'm not even looking at what I'm writing. I'm mostly just looking at what I'm typing.
Yeah.
In a way, if that
And
makes
you know
sense.
you can rescue yourself too. You're like,
Mhm.
oh, sorry, boom, 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 star.
Yeah.
Adjustment.
Star
You know, like,
adjustment. Yeah.
it's not the same.
Exactly.
With paper, your pen.
You got it. Yeah. Or you got to like
Yeah,
scribble
star.
on it. Doesn't look as nice.
Yeah,
and-
it's improper. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a different kind of technique.
Tear
yeah,
out
exactly.
like 15 pages trying to get the perfect one.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
But yeah, side note, when you mentioned the typewriter,
Mhm.
there's something that I don't know why just randomly popped into my head. I'm like, how come we have a QWERTY keyboard? Like, why are the letters spaced like that?
It's a good question.
Why aren't they in ABC form?
That is a good
I
question.
think I've come across an explanation, but I just can't remember it. QWERTY. Actually, search that up for Siri.
I'll tell you why right now. So I looked it up. Is everything fine?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually looked it up. So I looked it up, and it turns out that when they were using typewriters, like they obviously didn't have computers or laptops or whatever. Whenever they start typing, when it was ABC format, they would type really fast because everyone knows the ABCs. Everyone knows them in order.
Mm-hmm.
So they start typing really, really fast.
Yeah.
And they start clogging their typewriter. They started like whenever they type, it be too fast, the paper would crumble or whatever it is. They'd have to start over. So I don't know what his name is, but he's like, I'm gonna mix up the letters.
Mhm.
That way you type a lot slower.
Really?
And on the typewriter, you won't be jamming it a lot more.
But don't they just memorize the keyboard after a little bit of time? and
Eventually
then-
now we've memorized it.
Okay, but for
But I mean like
typewriters,
but
it's-
like the time span between like changing it to QWERTY to where computers are available now we're using keyboards.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a very long time,
Mm.
but typewriters have been around for a long time. People started like messing up a lot.
Bro, it's such a simple solution. Too.
Super
Hey,
simple.
Let's just mix
scramble,
up the.
just scramble the letters, and they came up with the QWERTY. Now, what
That's
I don't
wild.
understand is what's the logic between the actual like why putting it in QWERTY. From what I've read, typically they'll have different letters that are most frequently used in
Mhm.
one hand versus the other. That way, like you won't type as fast.
Yeah,
But now you have people typing crazy fast
bro,
on the computer.
it's one of the most satisfying feelings because, okay, as a writer, I barely write on paper.
Yeah,
Almost all of my writing is done on the laptop.
right.
So when you go through it and you're like, you get in a zone, it's one of the most satisfying feelings ever.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
It's
just
a-
gliding across the keyboard.
It takes like a good introduction. Like
Mhm.
I swear that's the hardest part is to start it. Once you start it, you're gliding. You're like a
Mhm.
pen at that point. You're like my $150 pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, just straight up. Love it.
So I have a question for you.
What's up?
Now, what I know you want to achieve some big things in your life. What comes to mind when it comes to your ambition?
Oh man, I've had a lot of goals like over the last few years, right? And I've started to learn a lot more about okay, so to rephrase your question, a lot of
Mhm.
people are like, "Oh, what do you want from life?" Right? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Equally as important of a question that people don't get asked is, "What do you not want to do?
That's
What
a
do you
great
don't?
question.
What do you
Yes.
not want to be? What
Mhm.
road do you not want to go down?" And oftentimes people don't ask that question. They're like, "Oh, I want to achieve this," but they don't understand the struggles and what comes with it.
Mhm.
And sometimes some people are okay with it. Some people are like, "No, I don't want to do that." For instance, I want to become a billionaire, right?
Mhm.
I've had situations where like I was part of a team where we want to build $1 billion company, right? And at first, it's a pretty fancy goal. I'm like, yeah,
Who doesn't want
let's
$1
be,
billion?
yeah,
Right?
who doesn't want to be a billionaire,
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right, let's be billionaires, right? Let's build $1 billion company. So we started working on it, and we were working like 80-hour weeks. We're like crushing it. And then I started learning a lot more about I don't want to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, not because like, oh, I'm too lazy to put the work in. It's like, I don't want to put the work in. The
Yeah.
sacrifices that come with building something that big
It's not worth
or
it.
something or any kind of goal, it's not worth it for me. For instance, I've seen people that have $1 billion companies or are very successful, business wise, where they don't have a good family or they don't
Mhm.
have a great relationship with their wife or their kids or stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sacrifice that. And that's stuff that comes even after I've built let's say I have achieved that, right?
Mhm.
And I'm still sacrificing my time with my kids, with my wife, with my family, with
Mhm.
all that stuff. I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And even then, like $1 billion, like what do you do with $1 billion? You know what I'm saying? Now, not to say that I was gonna be a billionaire. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I kind of started to understand what it takes to build something like really big, even if like becoming a millionaire.
Mhm.
The work that goes into it is just if it comes, it comes. It's not something I want to be like, oh, I gotta be a
Yeah,
millionaire.
you gotta be
I gotta work hard. I want all that.
You know
I'm
what
like, I mean,
You know what I notice? It's like people create a goal. Let's say they want to become a billionaire.
mhm,
Okay. In their minds, they think once they hit $1 billion,
yeah,
that's it. I can coast through life.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'll have everything figured out. But of course, there's so many components to life that it's never the case.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the amount of responsibility actually gets higher and higher and higher.
Mhm.
100%. Yeah.
So you signed up for that.
Yeah, exactly. And they're hoping for the time where passive income,
Yeah.
the famous term that everyone wants to
Yeah.
achieve, right?
Passive income, FBA, Amazon, freaking approved.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
So-
Learn this online. I became a millionaire in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Watch my masterclass.
How I made
Guys, that's-
30K in
guys,
2
guys,
days, you know?
Not real.
Yeah. So
It's real to a certain extent, but that's
Yeah,
it. People figured
exactly.
it out. That's it.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean everyone's
Exactly.
gonna.
Mhm.
Exactly. So I mean, it wasn't as attractive to me anymore,
Mhm.
pretty much. So to me, everyone has this idea of like we got to be leaders, we got to be leaders, we got to be leaders, and it's okay to be a follower.
Straight
There's
up.
no problem with that. Like, why are we putting down people that
Well,
are willing to
Hey,
go
dude,
through
well,
school
here's
and
the
get a
thing.
job?
We're using the
and-
wrong word to begin with. Okay, it's not leader and follower. It's
Right.
just it's more like it's master and learner.
Mhm.
That's it.
In a way, but like the thing is, like some people, like I've stumbled upon people that have their own businesses, right? And they'll genuinely be so curious on how are people willing to just work for someone.
Mhm.
Like, I gotta work for myself. I gotta do my own thing. And that's totally fine. That's amazing. Like
Yeah.
you'll do your own work. You don't have to work
Yeah.
for anyone or anything like that. But in a way, it's kind of like demeaning to people that choose to work for someone. It's like how?
And it discounts
You know?
personality as well because
Yeah.
we have different personalities.
Some people are okay with that, and that's
Yeah.
totally fine. Like if I want to go work for someone, I'll get my check, I'll clock in, clock out, and the rest of my time I can do whatever I want with it.
Yeah.
There's give and take. Starting your own business, start doing your own thing. You're gonna have to sacrifice that. You're gonna have to sacrifice. There's no clocking in, clocking out. You're just clocked in all the time.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
always clocked in, and some people are fine with that. And I don't think anyone should look down upon anyone else.
Yeah. It is
People do
it
what they
is.
want to
Yeah.
do, and that's totally fine.
That 100% because You got to understand that everyone's comfort level is different.
Exactly.
So wherever they sit
And their
comfortable, it could be
priorities.
uncomfortable for you.
And their priorities are different as well.
Yeah.
I know some people that genuinely don't want to get married. That's just not what I want to do. And they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it is. I just don't want to. I'm so in love with the game. I'm so in love with going to work, making money, helping people. Like the thing is, it's not even a bad thing. It's like it's not just about making money. It's like I want to help people. What I'm doing helps so many people, and I'm in love with it. And that's their priority in life, and that's fine to them. You know, like it's totally fine. But like other people have different priorities, and it just depends on what yours are.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I kind of started to learn. It's like what my priorities are, what I want to do in 10 years, what I don't want to do, what does my life look like, all that kind of stuff. And I started to, I'm slowly getting my life back together.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my life is together, nor am I saying yours life's together or anything like that. But like, we're always trying to like figure out our lives.
It'll never be quote unquote together. It's always a process.
Yeah, for sure. We're always evolving.
Yeah. And you got to accept to learn to accept things.
Exactly.
Because nothing's going to go
as planned
perfectly.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, look back on your life and see, you know, how many situations went exactly to a T according to plan.
Nothing.
Almost zero.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
Very similar, familiar, but that's it.
But it's not exactly how you plan it to be. But it's still important to put a plan in place because you still want to like have an idea. Yeah,
you want like you want an outlook on like, okay, what am I trying to head to at least, you know?
Right. Exactly.
It's not like I'm not going to do anything until I get to this position. I don't know. There's a lot of struggle.
Right.
I like even in I've worked with a lot of people. Like for example, if I finish filming something, we'll send it off to the editing suite.
Yeah.
The people that are usually doing color are so introverted. Like you don't even know they exist. You know, just a very dark room, panels everywhere. They're just kind of like, you know, they have an appointment with the director.
Yeah.
Like 3:30.
Yeah.
You're like, who's this guy?
There.
Where'd he come from?
And they just follow orders and they love it. And that's it. They're just good at it.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's fine.
Some people like to take orders. Like they don't want to have the responsibility of creating orders. They don't want to have that responsibility.
Yeah. There's going to be the people that like to take the awards and the people that love giving the awards. Different. Just different. You know, that's an awarding feeling to them. So screw it.
You know where I think a lot of that, like the people who look down upon others who like to follow orders and work a 9 to 5, I think it comes down to there's this very real concept of wage slavery. There are a lot of people who are stuck in a job who don't want to be in that job.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely that.
Which I can see how they're, you know, how they look down upon them, but at the same time you have to understand that you need to refine your message. You can't just hate on these people for working a job and putting food on the table. That's stupid. And of course, different personalities. Also, how do you deal with risk? Because risk is a very real subject that you have to confront. So I think all those are
definitely. There are definitely things that are very risky.
Well, we need them. Like, you know, Kai has mentioned it before on one of our episodes, but we wouldn't have this.
Yeah, definitely.
We wouldn't have this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have that. Or if we did, it would be very expensive.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen both. I've seen both people that work a 9 to 5, hate their lives. They hate everything about their job. They're literally just doing it to like put food on the table. That's all. But then I've also met people that work a 9 to 5. They have the morning to themselves. They have the evening to themselves. Their job, they don't mind it. They're like, it's fine. It's paying me. And then I have the rest. Like they're living life totally fine. And then on the other hand, the entrepreneurs that start their own business, you see both sides. It's they love what they're doing. They're making their money, all that stuff. But then there's the other people that are like, oh my God, like it's so much work. It's taking so much of your time. And then are you really happy if you're not with your family? With like, it's taking all of your time.
Yeah.
There's so many different aspects to it. And like, there's no one right way.
Yeah.
I just hate when people just start promoting like this is the way to do it. I'm like, you don't know.
No.
It might be for you, but maybe not for me.
Yeah.
And it's hard to figure out for yourself sometimes. That's the issue.
You mentioned family, and this was something we spoke about before we started this episode, but being a family man is very important to you.
Yeah.
Describe why that is.
So you asked me like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Or like what kind of like, where do I want to look forward to? If I'm a good dad, that's all that matters. That's it. Like, obviously, like, I want to do things that I like doing, all that stuff. Like, I want to have a job that I love, a life that but having a job that I'm not very fond of versus, and being a good dad versus the opposite, having a great job that I'm making great money with and I love doing it, but then I come home to a very toxic family. I would never want that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, always, like, the number one priority is be a good dad.
Mhm.
That's it. And I got that from my dad. Like, everything that I've learned from him, obviously we get into it a lot. Obviously we'll, I don't call them arguments. I call them debates. And genuinely, like, I hear what, like, my friends, the way they talk to their dad, those are arguments. Like, the way, like, their little, I don't know,
it's super aggressive.
It is like the way they talk to each other. Not always, obviously, but when they have disagreements, it's like it seems like an argument. But then I'm comparing it to the way me and my dad, whenever we have disagreements, I'm like, it's not like that. It can't be labeled as an argument. It's 100% a debate. So, like, I'll have my view, he has his. We sit down and we talk about it, and it's very respectful dialogue between the two of us. Even we completely disagree on something, and I'm like, I want to be like that. I don't want to pressure my kids into, like, thinking a certain way and all that stuff. Obviously, like, putting religion, you know, on the table, all that stuff. Like, yeah, my dad will definitely push me to do that kind of stuff. But as far as, like, everything, buying my first camera, for instance, I still remember buying my first camera. My dad said no. He's like, why are you going to spend $1,200 on a camera? That's ridiculous. We have a camera. He bought it when we were kids. He bought us cameras for like $200. Crazy. Like, that's so much for a camera for a 10-year-old, you know? And he's like, you have a perfectly fine camera. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I want to do this. Like, this is something I want to do. I want to get good at this. And I can't do that with my Nikon point and shoot. Yeah, cool picture. Yeah, I can't do that with that. We got into this debate. And I told him, I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy it.
Damn.
And I ended up doing something that he told me not to do, but at the same time, he's never telling me no. He doesn't tell me no, don't do it.
He's
advising me.
He's a wise man.
He's just advising me. That's all it is. He's just advising me, don't do it. If you do it, I'm not going to be mad. You didn't disobey me or anything.
I'm going to be furious.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I ended up buying the camera and it 100% paid off. 100%. Not everything is played out that way, but that's like an example of like, we have a discussion, and then I do with it whatever I want. He does with it whatever he wants.
It's crazy the amount of crap you could do with communication.
100%.
Straight up, dude.
Yeah. It's
100%.
I think people jump too much to vocalizing things. Too much, like, super quick, you know? Like, I don't know. I could be headed downstairs and I'm holding 2 cups of coffee. And I'm about to pick up someone because their car's at the mechanic and we're about to head to LA for a meeting. Right? Rushy morning. And I'm heading downstairs and I don't know. What if my dad says, hey, take out the trash? And I'm just like, do you not see me right now? Like, I'm trying to leave. I have 2 options.
Read the room, man.
I can either vocalize ASAP, be like, what the you know, or I could just be like, oh, sorry, I can't right now. Let me at least put these down. Or can you take care of it? I'm sorry, I'll take care of it next time. Okay, first of all, the vocals are at a medium. You know, there's a huge difference. What the just explode? He wasn't even exploded. You made him explode.
Exactly. It's just people feed off of each other when they're talking.
You have to assume that people don't know your vicinity or your perspective. So just share it. That's it.
Exactly. Can't read your mind, man.
Have you always had that, like, type of, has it always been that way between you and your father where it's like, okay, we're just gonna talk about this as much as possible and come to either a disagreement or an agreement and go from there?
In most topics. In most.
Okay.
There are obviously some things that my dad would feel very passionate about. Again, religion-wise. And I totally respect. I'm on his side. Always on his side with that.
Because you understand it.
I understand where he's coming from. But there are, like, those instances where he would tell me no, like, do it. And I will be mad if you don't, basically. But everything else, when it comes to, like, lifestyle, like how you live your life, no, it's never been do this or don't do this. And I've taken his advice sometimes and sometimes I haven't. But But he's definitely taught me so many things. I remember when I was in like 4th grade, there was this art project that we had to do. It was like this, I don't even know how to explain. You were in class with me.
Really?
Yeah, you were in class with me. But there was this it was like a wooden board, and basically we had to draw something on it, and then we'd have 2 color sets of beans. So brown beans and black beans.
Holy shit, you just unlocked an entire memory.
Right? Yeah. So the background has to be all brown beans, and then you use the black beans to fill in all the pictures.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly.
Trippy.
We all had that project.
We all had that. Yeah. So I remember it was due the next day, and we had like a week to do it.
Oh.
And it was due the next day, and I broke down. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. There's no way. There's no way. And my dad got mad at me. He's like, what do you mean you can't do this?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. Like, it's impossible. And from then, like, he basically taught me. He's like, you never say you can't do something. Like, don't say it.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually can't at some point, like, okay, it won't happen. But you should never, from the beginning, say you can't do something.
It's like that moment in The Pursuit of Happiness where they're on the basketball court. Remember?
Mhm.
He basically gives them the same speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Wow.
thing is, I didn't believe him. I still didn't believe him. But he kept telling me, you can't, like, don't say you can't. Don't say you can't. Don't say you can't. Oh, he obviously made it a little bit nicer the way he said it. But I sat down and I did it and I finished it. And I showed it to him. And then he, like, once he saw it, he was obviously happy for me. But he looked at me. He's like, I never want to hear you say you can't do something. Ever. And if I'm remembering correctly, that was the last time I said I can't do something.
Damn.
Last time.
Bro, honestly,
great
I
words.
respect the hell out of that because for us 3, at least this is what I appreciate about the Arab values and household is that you almost always have a strong father figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Western societies, that's not the case.
Mhm.
And
Usually-
it's family bond too.
Yeah.
So you have the protective side, you have
Mhm.
the tough love side,
Right.
and you have the merchant of responsibility as
Mhm.
well. Like
Mm.
the people, and then you have the messengers of the house.
Yeah.
You know, go do stuff. Like they'll just relay.
Everyone has a
information.
role. Everyone has a
Like,
role.
Mom said, Dad said.
Yeah.
And you know, like even if it's relayed information, you're not gonna go confirm. You'll just do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you already know it came up from top. You know.
Mhm.
There's a hierarchy to it.
There is,
Yeah.
man.
And
But
it's respectful. It's awesome. It builds you differently.
that's basically where I
Yeah.
want to go. Like, I definitely want to get to a point where I can teach my kids the things my dad taught me, and I can do things differently.
Yeah.
Like, there are I told you the good stuff my dad's done, but like there are some things that like I wish my dad had done differently.
Mhm.
So many things, and those are the things that I
Yeah.
would do differently with my kids.
That's what we. Yeah.
you know.
No, I get you.
So that's something I definitely want to aim towards. It's like being a good dad.
Yeah.
That's the priority.
There's nothing more noble than that, dude. Especially in the society today.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of people your age, they don't have the same mentality.
Mm-mm.
I
Probably
feel
big-
some people
more-
do.
more than
some
I would
people do
think.
for sure.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
than I would believe.
It
but
depends on who you're around.
Who
I mean,
you're around, where you're at, who
Yeah.
you're with, who the person is.
Exactly.
What do
like
they do?
I've been fortunate enough to be around people
that are like that.
that are like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
our mindsets are the same. Like I'm honestly like I'm so blessed that like I grew up with like friends and I'm still friends like with you guys. And it just so happens that you guys' mindsets are straight. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
obviously we're not perfect or anything, but I don't know the toxic going out on Fridays, drinking, doing drugs. I don't know it.
It's completely
yeah.
foreign.
It's so foreign to me. Oh my
And
God,
the
dude.
thing is, it's not like we actively avoid it. We're just
We
not
don't.
that type.
We're just not. That's the thing. Like I
It's
don't
not
know.
Like, oh no. It's
I don't know it.
we know it's there. It's just kind of like
Because
I
we
know,
didn't grow
like I
up
see it
around
in
it.
movies. I see
Yeah.
like I know it exists, but I don't understand it at all. Like I don't. It's not me.
yeah, it's getting rid of the living for Friday in general,
Yeah.
whether you do stuff or not.
Like when I was running the company, right? We would be with people that would advise us on things like, oh, you guys are gonna have to put your Friday nights aside. You're gonna have to, and you're gonna stop drinking. You gotta do. I'm like, I don't do any of this
You're
stuff.
like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
easy.
Like this is gonna be a breeze.
Oh, nice, cool.
I don't do any of
Yeah, yeah.
this. I'm like, that's crazy. Like people do this. Like this is what they do
Yeah,
on a
this is
weekly
like-
basis.
This is like, I wake up,
Daily.
brush my teeth,
Some daily, some
Yeah.
daily.
brush my teeth, wash my face, you know,
That's
and
it.
then fix up my eyebrows and comb my hair.
Yeah.
And then you know, have a swig. I'm like, just normal.
Just a normal Thursday afternoon.
I'll tell you what, like over the course, you know, after middle school and high school, I started to expand out and meet newer people. The more that I came across these types, the more it was just like, this is such a disgusting lifestyle,
right?
That I have no
Doesn't even
intention
attract
of
me.
moving in
It's
that
not even
direction.
attractive.
Yeah.
It's not attractive at
You'll
all.
find that type everywhere. You always know the bar guys, even at the gym.
Yeah.
Because they're hungover.
It's not that
They can't even lift the weight properly.
They're
just like-
literally, they always have a fade.
Yeah.
Always. It's never longer than half an inch.
Yeah.
Okay. Always clean, right? Just always. And they're always showered. They're always walking around the gym. Like I literally will get there and it would look like he's been walking there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I would do a 3-hour workout, shower, get dressed, you know, going to work, walk out, and he's still roaming around the gym.
What are you doing spending that much time in the gym?
I'm like,
he's a bro
dude,
guy.
What?
He's a bro. He's a gym bro.
I don't know. Unless the gym gives you reward points for being
I
there
don't
by
for
the
being
hour.
there. Yeah.
Like,
They pay
I
you.
can't think of anything else. Like,
Every step you get a reward point.
yeah.
I don't know, man.
So you know the types.
I don't.
You
I
just
just
do.
don't get it,
Yeah.
man. Like, and honestly, like, I feel fortunate that I'm in that situation. Like, sure, like I'm oblivious to it. I'm ignorant to that lifestyle, and I don't mind. I don't mind that I don't know it. I don't mind that I don't know how to take a shot and what to do after with the freaking chasers and stuff. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I really don't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and to have been growing up with the people that I'm still friends with now, and none of them do that. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, that's amazing that we still kind of have the same mindset, and not a lot of people have that kind, that kind of people around them.
Yeah. And that'll definitely pay off in the future.
Yeah,
because think about how much time and energy and money that young people waste on that kind of crap.
Oh my god!
Not to say that drinking is evil or anything like that, but it's just
it's expensive. Man.
It's a matter of
look, it's business, dude. Like the government likes to control a lot of things. Okay, especially when it comes to regulation for smoking, regulation for this, regulation for that. Where do you want to open up your shop? You know? Oh, we can't give you a tobacco license for this street. If you move to like the next corner, we could possibly get you something. Okay, so that's just a smokers club, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a drinkers club, which bars and things like that. Most cases they're going to be on like boardwalks, main streets, just little downtown areas. There's going to be like, so it's available for bar hopping. So what do? They created a lifestyle, right? You don't like this bar? Go to the next one. It's a different vibe. Go to the next one. It's a different vibe. Go to the next one. How do they maximize? Once you have one drink, that's it. You're going to be drinking all night.
Yep.
All bets are off.
Kind of. For the most part, and I'm not saying everyone's like that, but what's one $10 drink? Oh, it's a nice night out. I had a good experience for $10. Right?
Yeah.
You only live once.
Okay. What if you want to fuck it all up?
Yep.
180, easy.
At least.
Easy, bro.
And what did you do today? Great. You washed your vocal cords. For $180. Yeah. And that's just one Friday. You don't know what's happening tomorrow. You can get a last second call, Like,
and that's
it's ridiculous.
That's not,
and bars know what they're doing. They have the right to price it at that point.
Yep.
Who cares? People will still pay for it.
They'll still buy.
That's the bad part. Is that
and you're
still paying
tipping
for it.
too. So like,
yeah, that's like
I'm
the
just-
whole OnlyFans situation that we talked about, where it's just like the only reason why it exists is because of stupid idiots that pay for this crap.
yeah, they'll
If
still
no one
buy
paid
it.
for it, there would be no incentive to do anything. so
Exactly.
therefore, it doesn't exist.
There's the demand. The demand is there.
The demand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The demand.
I just have to throw in a pun, even if it doesn't make sense. But, yeah, you get me though. It's just it's so wacky. That's why I appreciate that I did business as a major. I got into some classes.
Yeah.
You start to learn about the market
Yeah.
and statistics and all that kind of stuff. But then I obviously left.
Yeah.
So I was just like, whatever. Like, it was still good information. But
Of course. It doesn't teach you like hands-on.
it doesn't teach you hands-on.
definitely doesn't.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But
it's still
there's
good
a lot of
knowledge
things that
to have
you
about
can you can implement that into psychology, or you can implement that into medical, or you can implement it into something else. Like, it's
Right.
generally the same kind of human-based knowledge, dude. That it sits there.
Mm-hmm.
We just
Right.
choose to be conscious about it or not.
Right.
And that's the problem with parents. That's today. There's been a lot of parents where I literally genuinely just like want to punch something.
Yeah.
Because of how stupid they are or how reckless they are with their like children. And we're talking like under 2 years old. Barely walking, you know, just very unattentive, leaving a baby in the car.
Mm-hmm. Which begs the question, you're not mature enough to
I've been at a
child.
situation at Target like that where people are literally pissed and they're trying to break the window. But, you know, you can't break a window with a baby. If it was a dog, it would be different. But like glass shards, you can't do that. Like, I don't know. But we ended up yelling at the lady and she's like, it's none of your business. And like, all this. We're like, okay, if it was none of our business, what is it? CPS wouldn't exist. Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how people do that.
You got to learn to just be conscious in general, dude.
Yeah. That is true.
Think more. Like, think of where you are at this very moment. Like, yesterday, I was showing Zayd a ATM robbery video. This guy got hacked with a little hacksaw. Or not a hacksaw. Hatchet.
Okay.
Yeah, mini axe. And he was at the ATM. When I'm at the ATM, first of all, I paused the video. I was like, when I'm at the ATM, I'm aware. Like, I already know where I'm at.
Head on the swivel.
Is there
all the time.
anything near me? Are there other cars in the parking lot? Is there lights? Are there mirrors on the ATM machine?
Yeah.
And obviously keep your neck relaxed and just kind of like be attentive, you know? Your peripheral's not right here. Your peripheral's right here. You need to know, right? So, first step, complete. You already are aware of the environment. Everything in the surroundings, anything happens, you can kind of react. This guy, unfortunately, was pulling out money in Manhattan.
Okay.
And, you know, inputting his PIN, whatever, then suddenly gets hacked in the middle of, in the back of where his knee is.
Not suddenly. Here's the thing. The dude came, so he's at the ATM. The dude came around, walked, paced a little bit, looked around to see if there was anybody else to watch.
But here's the tricky part is that the axe was already in his hand visible.
Yeah.
So it's like he already walked in like this, and then he goes like this, and he grabs it in the other hand.
And then he just goes.
So how
at
do you
him.
not see that? Because like the guy at the ATM is right here, right in the front, and directly to my right, within my peripheral vision, he enters the room.
Yeah.
And he already has an axe.
Your first instinct should be to look
that?
at the guy to see if he's a danger.
Yo, what is that? You know, be curious. Who cares?
That's scary though, man.
But
oh my
other
God.
than that, he started fighting him off. He got hit in the head twice. He's bleeding everywhere at this point. Chipped his ear, his trap. Like, not worth it. Just for not being conscious enough.
Not being
you know?
attentive.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not completely taking the blame of the guy that.
Absolutely not.
Well,
But
for
at
sure,
the same time,
did the
these
crime.
happen. Just because we caught it on video once doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, it's definitely happened.
Speaking of attentiveness, you've helped produce podcasts. Is that correct?
I ran a podcast.
You ran a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn,
Now-
I ran a mile.
Yeah.
Being running that podcast, you've been around a lot of powerful and wealthy people, correct?
Mhm.
What have you noticed about them specifically? Like, what have you learned that you consistently utilize now?
Oh, that I use now?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the conversation like that we'd have. I mean, I wasn't like in the podcast. I was running it, you know,
Yeah, behind the
cameras,
lights.
audio, lights, all that stuff. Yeah, that's what I would do, edit it. But I was always there, you know, to hear what they would say. A lot of what they would talk about would be business related, right? It's like how to automate your business, how to run your business, SEO, marketing,
How you bought your first jet.
how to, yeah, normal things. Yeah.
Typical.
But the biggest thing, and it's cliche, but it's definitely very important, is time management.
Mm.
That's, I mean, a lot of people keep talking about it, and I have definitely not mastered it. But if I was to take something away from like what I've learned from them and take it into like my own life of someone that's not currently running a business, or anyone that's not running a business, whether you are or not, is your time management.
Yeah.
Like the time intervals are ridiculous for some of these people. I know this one I didn't learn from people, but I think I saw a video or read something about Bezos's time intervals. No. Sorry, Elon Musk's time intervals.
Yeah.
5 minutes. He plans his day in 5-minute intervals.
That is insane.
Yeah.
The whole day is
The
stacked
whole-
of 5
oops,
minute
sorry.
increments.
The whole day is just 5-minute intervals.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I'm in this meeting for
45 minutes.
let's say I'm 45 minutes. It's literally
45 minutes.
45 minutes exactly.
Yeah.
And that's split into 5-minute intervals. And once that's done, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm not exactly. Oh, okay. I'm like, where's it going?
My time's up. My 5-minute
Yeah.
interval's done.
Now I
Sorry,
didn't
guys, time
plan.
management, you know?
I didn't plan my day in 5-minute intervals, obviously, but I planned them out in 1 hour intervals.
Yeah.
That's what I tried. doing.
Very reasonable.
And one practice that we tried was you plan your day out, and you basically type it out right in an Excel spreadsheet, in 1 hour intervals from when you wake up to when you go to sleep. Every single day for Monday through Friday, we did it every single day. So Sunday through Saturday, basically. From I think start of the day at 8 to 10, basically PM. Every single hour, you're filling it out with something. You're writing, I have a meeting here. I'm going to eat here. I'm going to use the bathroom in this time. I'm going to do this in this time. I'm going to do this every single hour. What are you doing? And then you have 3 color. You're going to color code it. There's green, yellow, and red. Green means money making moves. Yellow means it's productive, but you're not making money. Red means it's just a complete waste of time.
Yeah. So gym, reading, all that stuff can go in yellow.
It goes in yellow. Green would be I'm in a sales meeting. I'm actually studying a contract. I'm
Client
pitching
call,
client call. No, client calls are not.
They're not?
No, they're not. Client
Okay.
calls like if it's an actual client,
If you're
And
trying
you're
to
selling,
acquire a client, yeah.
that's not.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
If you're acquiring a client, if you get them, money making move. If you don't, that's the yellow.
Mhm.
You didn't actually make money that hour.
Yeah.
Point is, you want to try to, as a business, you want to try to fill your whole schedule with greens. You want to try to have as much green as possible. That's how you, obviously, a functioning business needs to make money. Yellows are fine. You want to minimize your reds.
Okay.
That was the point of the exercise.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and it definitely helps a lot.
Do you know how you can get closer to the like Bezos, like time management?
How?
I started taking the practice. I'd like to share it with you. If you like
Please.
it. 1 week is a day. We just nap in between. I think the moment you start to think like that,
Mm-hmm.
the more it will become easier to break down a week into 5 days, into 4 days, into 3 days. And then that one day will feel like a week, one day.
Yeah.
I see. Like the amount of stuff you
Yeah.
did.
Because you're just
Yeah.
slicing it up more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So this comes with like the idea that I have of making big thoughts pocket-sized.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible, you know? You want to go to China tomorrow? Let's do it.
Yeah.
What's stopping you?
Going-
What's stopping
yeah.
you? Literally.
Yeah.
You have functioning legs. You have a healthy wallet. Sure, you got work tomorrow. Can you move stuff around? Let's see what we can do. You know? It's all a function.
Decisions.
It's all decisions. It's all a
It's
function.
decisions.
Screw your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, just make the decision, go with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Like take things that people go, I can't afford to lose this job. I don't know what to do. Like I can't just take a leap, you know? And I was like, okay, calm down. First of all, this is not your time to speak because you're very emotional.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
Calm
true. Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Collect it. Take a leap.
Yeah.
It's an action. It's
Mhm.
not something you think about.
Not just that. People when they try to come up or when they want to make a decision for something that's big, like kind of risky, how many times have you taken a risk and thought of the worst possible outcome and the worst possible outcome didn't happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the time.
It rarely happens.
The worst possible outcome rarely happens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I'm not gonna say like, I mean, that's great advice. I don't really do it, but it's definitely something
Yeah.
you can practice. But like just thinking about it, the worst possible outcome rarely happens.
That's
So
true.
why not?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Tim
Why not? Let's
Ferriss
do
has an exercise called fear setting. I think it goes around. It's along those lines, except it's outlining. Okay, you're gonna make this decision. What do you fear most about what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
So it's worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, to the whole time management point, I read a book a while back. Forgot the author's name, but it's called The Power of Engagement. And he talks about how time management's important, but the more crucial thing is energy management. Because you can manage your time all you want, but if you don't have the energy to follow through with what you want to do, then it's pointless.
You have to set your. It's kind of like, think about it this way: pre-production. If you don't pre-produce and start writing things down and shot by shot list, what are we anticipating, and you don't start thinking like that, the shoot will be terrible.
Yeah.
It'll just be misorganized.
Yes.
Everything's all over the place. We already know that. It's the same thing.
I wanna say something as far as your energy management goes. One thing, and I had to learn this the hard way, is get your rest. Get your rest.
It's a big one.
Don't feel guilty about it either. People feel guilty about getting
your rest. Because we were managing our time fairly properly at a certain point, right? We had our meetings, we had our shoots, we had our my editing schedule, all that stuff. We actually had a team under us. And I remember that week I worked, again, we were working 80-hour work. Like, I'm exhausted, but we're doing great. Things are on schedule, things are on time, things are doing well, everything's working well. I still remember this was a Friday. I'm exhausted, like actually exhausted.
Fatigued.
Yeah, literally. My body just is not
shutting down.
It literally is. We went and had dinner. I was at the office, right after the office, like right after our work day. We're like, all right, let's call it a day. We'll go have dinner. We went and had dinner. I'm falling asleep while we're having dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is bad, dude. I got to go home. We finish. I hop in the car and I start driving home. The office from my house is about 30 minutes with no traffic. There was obviously traffic. It took me a little bit longer. And I still remember the last thing I saw was the harbor exit. You know where the harbor exit?
On the 5, yeah.
My exit is the Euclid exit. The Euclid exit and the harbor exit is about a mile, approximately. Something like that. It's about that far away. It's not too far.
No.
That's the last thing I remember.
You were home.
No, I wish.
You woke up.
I'll tell you what happened. Relax.
Well, I'm a little premature.
The last thing I remember is the harbor exit. And then I woke up to an accident. I woke up to a car crash.
Oh, you
I hit a car in front of me.
Oh shit.
I'm driving.
Did not know
and yeah, I know, right? Surprise, guys.
I'm actually surprised.
I passed the harbor exit.
Yeah.
Next thing I remember is I'm waking up rear-ending someone. I woke up with an airbag in my face. My seatbelt broke and smoke everywhere. I'm freaking out. I pull over to the shoulder and I stop the car. And in my head, I'm like, no way this just happened. No way.
Yeah.
And I look at where I am.